Hello there, everybody. This is episode 5 of Geek Ed. Well, from Geek Ed. We're not of Geek Ed. From Geek Ed. Tonight we are going to be discussing about Star Wars, one of our favorite subjects. We are going to be discussing a bit about Jedi. So we're going to take this unto ourselves. We're going to be putting ourselves in a position where we would be trained by, why, all of the aspects that come with that. But let's introduce everyone to who we have with us tonight. So, who's here tonight?
Magnus Top is here.
Hi, Magnus. Where's Connor?
He's not able to make it because he's otherwise occupied visiting his dad at the moment.
Ah, fair do. Fair do.
Just family. This is more important.
Right?
Indeed.
So, who's that other voice that's out there?
You could say this is Peter, aka the Great Lord Awesome. More accurately, I'm Peter.
You're Peter. And
Nothing special.
what have you done this week, Peter? What have you been up to?
Okay, well, with me, I am getting ready for a project I'm working on. So apart from like my job and everything else, where I'm trying to work on animations and everything, which is surprisingly difficult, I am rereading every single Foundation story from Isaac Asimov in preparation for writing one hell of a review on the topic.
Sweet stuff. Sweet stuff. The entire Foundation. That's a good project.
It is. I'm actually already on to Forward the Foundation.
Ooh.
The great thing about it is they're not that long, so
No,
you can
they're
really
not.
get to them pretty quickly.
It's not like today's space operas and epic fantasies where you have got thousands of pages to get through.
Now, Asimov was always very to the point with his stories.
He was a science professor. He's always to the point.
Yeah. Plus, he always wrote everything basically as short stories that were then stuck together. Except for a couple of his novels, but even then they read like short stories because you can break them down into smaller books without any trouble at all.
That's true. And what about you, Magnus? What have you done this week?
Okay. So the biggest thing that happened to me this week, I think it was my 6th, episode you could call it, with 5 of my friends and Connor as the Dungeon Master of doing our 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Sweet stuff. How's it going?
That was a lot of fun because it's like the first group D&D project I've done where there's more than 3 people being the role players.
Yeah.
So it's quite amusing to see the conflicts that can happen within the group. Even if you're the mage and get close to dying nearly every time.
Mages always die.
Wait, what?
No, really?
I never died as the mage.
Really? Was that because you were also maybe huge and wearing armor you shouldn't?
I did happen to be the only magic user in the party, hence I was the mage. More accurately, I was the cleric. More accurately, I was the cleric who specialized in hitting things with my giant warhammer. More accurately, I was the cleric who specialized in buffing myself and healing the people around me and hitting things with my giant warhammer.
That's a good mage.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, some mages, they decide to study for years to unlock their magical power. Me, I pray to God, and he makes me awesome.
Yeah. It's the easy way of doing things.
Because he can.
Because he can.
Divine power, what can I say? It works.
It's true. It's true. That sounds like a pretty cool week, having a D&D campaign going on. I want something like that where I live. If I live closer to Coventry, I would be there every day. But unfortunately, I'm not. But I've been doing a couple of blog posts. I did a couple of reviews this week, and generally applying for new work at the moment. So that's what takes up my time.
Oh yeah. Oh, done. I forgot one thing that I did.
What did you do?
Today. You see, I went to the cinema.
No way.
I watched a little movie. You may have heard of it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Never heard of it.
Okay, well, the story of it is... Actually, wait. How about I just save that for a review? Hint,
Yeah,
hint.
do us a review.
Yeah.
Okay,
Will,
but controversial opinion,
go for it.
it's not that good.
Save it for the review. We want haters to hate on that.
I know, but I'm just getting the hate mail out early here.
Again, you're giving them something to whet their appetite with.
We need this review.
Don't worry, I can explain why it's not that good.
That's the important thing.
Which is not the same as saying it's bad.
No, it's having an opinion. That's different.
Yes, and because it's my opinion, it's right. Of
Yes,
course.
Peter. Of course. Well, today's episode, we were going to focus a bit on Jedi, the Jedi way, and things that we kind of generally associate with the Jedi. We love Star Wars. We've all thought of this. If I was a Padawan, who would I want to be taught by? What my lightsaber would look like? What color? All these things I've already taken into account. So we want to take this as our main topic for our episode today, kind of blow it out. So we're going to be taking in all the movies, as many books as we've read into consideration, all the comics, as much detail as we can. So Peter, seeing as you've probably got the most in-depth, complicated knowledge of the Jedi way, you should probably go first.
Okay.
Get the boring bit over and done with. What?
Are you saying that I'm boring, man?
No.
Because I want people to learn that themselves.
Oh, sorry.
Don't give it
Spoilers.
away.
Spoilers, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, so first point first is you got to figure out who do you want to be trained by as a Jedi. And you know you've always got the traditional answers. I want to be trained by Obi-Wan. I want to be trained by Mace Windu. Nah, not for me. Not for me. You know who I want to be trained by? Kip
Who?
Durran.
Kip.
Kip Durran. I want to be trained by Kip Durran from the Legacy of the Force series.
Yeah, Legacy's
Not before. I don't want Kip Durran from before New Jedi Order. I want him from after he's learnt that he's not all that, and he has some humility beaten into him. Because, quite frankly, by that point, I think he would be pretty awesome as a trainer. Because of all the Jedi who stick to the light side, he's probably one of the ones who most knows what it's like to go bad, and the dangers of that. I mean, yeah, you've got, you know, Hamner, and, oh, what's the name of the other guy? Oh.
Cade?
I'm not thinking of Cade, no, the one who... You've got Hamner, and you've got another guy who's with Luke when he opens his academy on Yavin 4. By the way, if you've only ever watched the movies, you have no idea who I'm talking about. In which case, I advise you to go to Wikipedia, or even better, buy every Star Wars novel written by Timothy Zahn, every Star Wars novel written by Aaron Alliston, and find out who the hell I am talking about.
Even I would suggest one book. If you're looking into Jedi, then I, Jedi by Michael A. Stackpole is
What a name.
one of the best books about the new Jedi Order.
Kent
I
Hamner,
think is
that's
out
the one.
there.
Kent Hamner. I think it's really good. It's like it takes a Jedi Academy series, but does it by someone who's not a complete incompetent.
Yeah.
Because Kevin J. Anderson, he's incompetent. So imagine the awesome ideas of Jedi Academy series written by someone who knows what the hell they are doing.
Wow.
Yeah. I, Jedi's a good book.
But yeah, Kent Hamner. It's either him or Kip Durran I'd want to be trained by, in all honesty.
Okay. What lightsaber would you have?
Oh, what kind of lightsaber? You see, I think that I would like to go for... Okay, this is where I take one from the Force Unleashed game. You remember there's that one Jedi Master who basically has two really short lightsaber tonfa.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like it.
Mhm. You're into your
Um,
martial arts, aren't you? You're quite big into your martial arts. So having that kind of that must fit in with what you already like anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've not done a huge amount of weapons training, but the only weapons I would actually like to use in real fights are either tonfa or a bow staff. And a bow staff does not a good lightsaber make. Because to
Mm.
make it work, you need to be able to grab the whole length of your staff,
Yep.
which does not work with a lightsaber. Tonfa, on the other hand, a bit better.
Can definitely see where we're coming from that.
Yeah, you can get really close, block with one, strike with the other. They follow the lines of the arms really well, so it's almost like you can go hand to hand.
Yeah.
You can almost just grip them, forget you have them, and just punch people in the face with a lightsaber. All in all, it's pretty good.
Why wouldn't you want to do that?
I mean, considering they don't have lightsaber versions of knuckle dusters, yeah.
You can't get. That would be a little bit too overpowered.
Yeah. The only other Jedi I would like to have some training from would be Corran Horn.
Corran Horn.
Yeah, he's the main character of the book I, Jedi.
Yep.
And one good thing about him as a Jedi is he is absolutely terrible at telekinesis.
Yeah, he is. He's got no ability.
He can't do that at all. But that means that he has to be clever.
Yeah, he compensates in many other ways.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be a cop, then he became a fighter pilot, then he became a commando, then he became a Jedi.
It's kind
And
of a
so-
good resume. I wish I had that for my CV.
Yeah, he's basically he brings special forces training, and that is what he takes as he starts teaching you. And it sounds like something that would just be really useful and really cool. But of all of them, Kip Durran is my favorite. Once he's grown up and matured a little bit.
Okay. What color lightsaber would you have?
Oh, the moment of truth.
You see, I want a red one. I want to take that color back from the Sith, damn it. They've had that color to themselves for too long. Too
So-
long.
You should be trained by someone like XR Kun then.
I don't want to be a Sith. I just want a red lightsaber.
That's the thing. I think the red lightsabers are one of the best colors.
Yeah,
It's
either
just
that,
it's supposed to be for the Siths.
you can also, if you get the right gem combination, get a black iridescent one. So it's
Yeah.
black but kind of like shiny and sparkly and reflective, and that would look really cool.
I remember. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, because it plays into the kind of Jedi I would want to be.
Like going into the Clone Wars animated series, the Mandalorians had these basically an incredibly good vibroblade that was black and kind of like a bit see-through as well, and they basically they try to counter lightsabers with it, and it almost works. So you could almost take that technology and then say, "Stuff you lightsabers! I don't need you. I've got this. I'll go to the Mandalorians."
Oh, you have no idea how happy I was when the Clone Wars TV series completely and utterly declared non-canon all of that rubbish that Karen Travis did about Mandalorians. I was so happy about that.
Like, as a series, I like what they did, but with the Old Republic Online and the Clone Wars, it has decimated the Mandalorian race.
Wow.
All of it's gone to
Yes!
pot.
Yes! I hate Mandalorians.
Like,
So
I
what
liked
what
them.
are they originally? What's the difference between them and a human? Is it?
Well, no, they're not. They're humanoid. They're basically humans, but they make it out that they're an entire species of Boba Fett, and that's not true.
Oh,
No, because Boba Fett's not a Mandalorian.
Well, his dad was,
No, he wasn't.
wasn't he?
No, they reveal in the Clone Wars episode where they talk about Mandalorians. By the time of the Clone Wars, Mandalorians have become pacifists.
Okay.
Jango Fett stole a suit of Mandalorian armor, but he was not a Mandalorian. So neither is Boba Fett.
Ah, yeah. Basically, they made an entire species on false assumption. Then.
Yeah. Well, at the time, George Lucas hadn't said any differently, but
Mhm.
obviously we know how canon works in Star Wars. If it's on a screen, small or big, it overrides everything.
Yeah, luckily now they have wiped that clean and they are now restarting it all afresh. Hopefully they will be able to keep some consistency now that they're starting kind of what they like a new 52. A bit of consistency would be nice now.
Except hopefully done well, unlike the new 52.
Well, they've actually the authors. This is another me geeking out. The authors of the books I'm reading, The Expanse by James S. A. Corey. The authors, because it's a pseudonym. The authors of the books are doing Star Wars novels, and they are incredibly good.
Hmm.
They are very good writers.
Okay.
So I've got some hope for where the Star Wars novels can go.
There's only one element from the Star Wars novels I really want them to continue.
What's
I
that?
just hope that somewhere in Episode 7, Luke mentions that he has a wife who happens to be a redhead,
Mara
who happens
Jade.
to have once worked for the Emperor.
Yep.
You know, that is all I ask. Do
Everyone
that,
we
and I can almost forgive you getting rid of, Timothy Zahn's Shadows of the Empire and taking those out of canon.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. But Magnus, let's move on to you. What? So who do
Okay.
you want to train you?
Um, I think overall it would be Obi-Wan Kenobi because I'm a big Kenobi fan, but because he'd be a popular choice. I think my favorite would be Kit Fisto.
You've been a
Hey.
long-term fan of Kit.
Yeah, ever since I saw the second episode, although it wasn't too great, I still think it had one of the best massive war scenes. Ever since I first saw Kit Fisto charge in and be kind of get first blood against the Geonosians, I was just like, yeah, he's the best.
He is pretty epic.
But then obviously, sorry,
Sorry,
go
carry
on.
on. No, sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry about that.
Yep, carry on, boy.
I was just saying, I was really sad to see him go in the next episode.
Mm,
Yeah.
Spoilers ahead,
spoilers.
guys.
Yeah, we're
Spoilers.
spoiling
But
the Star Wars film.
we expect you to have seen these, or
With-
else.
That's like saying that it's a spoiler to say that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. I think everyone knows that by this point.
And especially
What?
our audience. If you're watching a video by a group called Geek Ed and you've not watched anything remotely geeky, you might be in the wrong place. I mean, if you like us, we're not telling you to go away, but we're assuming you've watched most of this
We're
stuff.
just saying you should watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you haven't
Exactly.
watched
Yeah.
the Star Wars films yet, do. With
Dude,
the correct order being, of course, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Obviously.
And then the words of is it Nike? Nike, do it now.
Just do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you've chosen your master. What
Yeah.
kind of lightsaber would you prefer? Like, do you want a common lightsaber, or are you going for something a bit more exotic?
To be honest, previously looking at Google Images, I think I probably would end up with just the average lightsaber because I just think that's just amazing. Just a normal lightsaber would do me good, but there's some really
Does
cool ones
work.
I've seen. Like there's a battle axe lightsaber
Mhm.
that looks quite amusing, but there's one that really caught my eye. I've always liked frisbees, and there's one that's pretty
What?
much it's kind of like a slightly bent handle, and the saber goes from one end, loops round into the other end, and it's
Wait.
like a little frisbee, so you could do like a
Wait.
Tron.
A lightsaber frisbee.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
if I could have anything, that's what I would love to have.
Oh. Why did I
Having
not
two,
know
having
about
two
this?
of those would just be like, boom.
I have read Old Republic comics. Why did I not know about this?
It's just a picture, but I think it should be done.
Yeah. Okay, and of course the important question, big man. What color is your lightsaber?
Allah.
I've seen some websites, and there are some pretty cool colors. Like I've seen a blood orange lightsaber color, and that is really nice. But I'm really not sure. I think all colours look really unique and really nice, but overall, I think I'd probably end up with a green or a blue, to be honest. I think the blue is really cool. I like the dark blues, the dark blue lightsabers.
Fair play.
Yep.
Fair play. That's cool.
What about you, Guy?
I have to say, I really like Qui-Gon Jinn as my master. I think he's the kind of guy I could really get along with. And I've read, obviously, there's all the stuff that goes on in episode 1, but then there was a really cool series Scholastic did years ago, and it was about Obi-Wan, where his origin story and his early years with Qui-Gon Jinn. And it really goes into detail about how Qui-Gon Jinn teaches Obi-Wan, and a bit about where they go. And it went on for about 9 short, they were kids books, basically, young adults books. They were only maybe 150, 200 pages long, but they molded me in my early teens to really have a lot of respect for Qui-Gon Jinn.
Do they include how he deals with when Obi-Wan fell in love?
Yes, it does. Well, it's kind of it's almost at the end when that starts. So it's kind of Qui-Gon doesn't step in yet, but he's aware of what's going on.
Wait, Obi-Wan falls in love?
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that I'm surprised or anything. It's just maybe that's probably why he maybe tries to kind of give Anakin a break. Probably what I've noticed.
Yeah,
If
well,
you
it's
look
pretty
like-
clear in episode 3 that he'd known about him and Padme for quite some time.
Yeah, and if you look like Ewan McGregor, you are going to get some women following you.
Yeah. Yeah, and throw in the fact that you're a Jedi, which is basically, their version of both the Special Forces and, noble knights.
It's like turning up. I'm Iron Man, but a little bit humble.
I can read your mind, which means I know exactly what you want me to do.
I'm humble, and I know it.
Wow, that's brilliant.
It's a slight Jedi arrogance there, but I quite like I like Qui-Gon Jinn.
Well,
I think my
To be
lightsaber.
fair, I like that choice. There's a guy who has a massive website called StarDestroyer.net.
Okay.
For a while, it was like the last word in the Star Wars versus Star Trek debate.
Okay.
And in his reviews, he basically talks about Qui-Gon as being like the perfect Jedi to train, just to train. The best
Yeah.
teacher the Jedi had.
Yeah, I can see that.
And to be fair, you look at it, and it works. He is, by the way, one of the few guys who, when the prequels came out, stepped up to defend them, and he even reasonably well defends the love story in Attack of the Clones.
The way that George Lucas wrote the early episodes, like 1, 2, 3, not 4, 5, 6, the early proper ones, you could see that he is a bit of a romantic, like all the way through. He wanted to put some kind of romance in there, and it makes sense that the Jedi, or a Jedi, would fall with the best intentions.
Yeah, that he breaks down exactly why everything that Anakin does in it makes perfect sense with what we know about his character.
Yeah.
I think my favorite line from it is he's like, they complain about his romantic lines, but have you ever heard a teenager talking to somebody who they're in love with?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And for those of us who have been teenagers in love, yeah, we kind of sound more like that when we want to admit. We don't exactly come off sounding like Casanova.
No, I think back on it, every time I watch those scenes in the Star Wars, in the early episodes, I do cringe slightly because I know I was that.
Yep. And it's not just one phrase either. I'd like to point out, Magnus, if you've not done it yet,
You will.
one day you will look back at the things you said and you will just go, oh no.
What did I do?
Why did I ever think that would work?
Yeah, it's like, that doesn't even make sense.
But then you'll have the craziest notion that, let's say you're still with the girl, you look over and it's
You'll
like,
be like, wow, it really
how
worked.
did you ever fall for that one? How did that work on you?
It's
Big
true.
brain examination incoming.
And so segueing back to the...
Yeah, Cyclone's awesome. I think we can all agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
My lightsaber would be Dooku's. Or one like
Ooh,
Dooku's.
the fencing saber.
The fencing saber. Throughout my entire time at secondary school, and I didn't go to a particularly... Well, it was a posher secondary school, but it wasn't a grammar or a private. I did fencing from year 7 all the way to end of sixth form. And I did foil, I did epee, I did saber, and I love the epee. And it reminds me of the handle that Dooku has, and that style. Yes, it's not hack and slash, it's got more finesse in it, but you are much more exact at where you want to hurt your opponent.
And that brings us kind of like to why I'm different, because I am a hand-to-hand fighter, to be honest. So I want something that's similar to my hand-to-hand. And if I'm completely honest, in terms of lightsaber forms, if you know what we're talking about, congratulations, you are the higher level of nerd. I am definitely going to be one of the more aggressive ones. Something like Gemso, which is basically the brawler's form as far as I would define it.
Yeah.
I think I'd either be full on, do like a proper strike like an Obi-Wan Kenobi style. I love his style.
Yeah, he's got a great defensive style. It's basically defend, wait for you to screw it up, and then counterattack. It's great.
Yeah, I still think the weirdest looking block in the Star Wars films is Anakin's. The way he holds his lightsaber upside down over his head.
Yeah. But
It works, obviously, but
the
it just
thing is, though,
looks
it doesn't
odd.
actually work with a lightsaber.
No, it
If
doesn't.
you think about it, the reason why you have that high guard when you're holding an actual blade is because the weight allows you to give a more powerful downwards thrust. Or stroke, sorry. A lightsaber has no weight.
Yeah.
So, there's no center of mass. It's kind of like where Obi-Wan, he always like twirls his lightsaber in his hand. How does he do that?
I know
Do you
why.
know how hard it is? Take a drumstick and try to twirl it in your hand. It does not work.
It's obviously the Force.
Yeah, that's actually what he does. He holds his hand in the air and like spins it on his hand with the Force just to make it look like he's twirling it.
Okay, that's just showing off. Although, then again, Yoda does have his beautiful showing off. It's like, draw my lightsaber, you think I shall? No, with the Force I shall draw.
Yes, so I'm not even going to touch this lightsaber,
I'm
and
gonna
it's going to
launch
fight you.
I'm even gonna launch myself across the room using the Force, and then I might just swipe at you with my lightsaber. I'm not sure yet.
Fighting style I have? The Tasmanian devil it resembles, yes.
I like it.
He looks like that Tasmanian devil. It's amazing.
It's true. It's true. Well, we're getting to the end of our episode now, because we don't want to go on too long. We know that people don't have all night to sit around and listen to us, but
They should do, but they don't.
I agree. But on Twitter, we promised that we'd give a shout out to anyone that had completed the SNES version of Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. And Year of Ears favorited our tweet, so we're assuming that you have completed this. We're assuming it. Well, you didn't give a reply, so we're going to give you a shout out anyway, because we're nice like that.
And you favorited the tweet.
Exactly. We
And
have
I
our
will
website.
say, if you somehow completed that game, tell us how you did it.
I know.
As I said, I've completed every Super Mario game ever made. I have done some of the harder platformers, like the Brutal Beast and all those other ones. I cannot even get past the first level.
I've done the first level, but I'm stuck on the second one.
I'm not bad at platformers. I die instantly. I made it to about the 5th level of Billy Bayou once. I still cannot do the first level of this game. I don't know why it's so hard.
It's weird. It frustrates me no
I
end.
did the first 3 levels of the Silver Surfer game.
Oh, you know how people tear apart a Rubik's Cube and put it back together?
Yeah.
That's how he completed it. He tore apart the game pack and then he just reassembled it so it said complete.
Well, it's like you can get all the level codes for the game for Return of the Jedi, but
Yeah.
I refuse to use them. I've been tempted, and I've got them written down, but I refuse to use them. But we have a fully functional website.
Yes, yes we do.
We are officially at www.geekeducation.co.uk. We have got some incredible stuff on there. Peter, like your blog it's been retweeted on Twitter quite a few times. Your sci-fi versus fantasy.
Yes.
People enjoy it.
It's
Sci-fi
all
versus
part of the plan. I love it when a
That was-
plan comes together.
That was one I did enjoy writing a lot. Although the one I enjoyed the most was my first one, What Makes a Geek.
What Makes a Geek was fun.
Although the next one I am planning on writing, I've got 3 blog post essay things in the works. One is darker does not mean better.
I like that one.
Second is why would I want it to be realistic?
Yep.
And then the third one, and this is again controversial opinion, I'm glad Firefly was cancelled.
Ooh, you might get some hate mail.
I'm kidding. I'm not glad it was cancelled. The series had potential.
I agree with you there. I can definitely
The
agree with you
actual
there.
one is Joss Whedon's not as good as he thinks he is.
We may have to have an episode about that.
Yeah. And again, I don't
Okay.
hate Joss Whedon. Big fan of Angel. Really enjoyed Dollhouse. Buffy was really good. Avengers was quite good.
Again, we will have to have this as an episode because we can go on for a good couple of hours. Magnus,
I'm not saying Joss Whedon's bad. I'm just saying, yeah.
yeah. You have a review, don't you, that we need to post?
Yeah, we do.
Which one is it?
It was I was about to say review of the Planet of the Apes, but that review of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
That's cool. We'll get that on this week. And I've got a couple of blogs that I'm going to do. I've got my Falling Skies review and the 100 review that I'm doing because I'm really enjoying those shows and it's worth getting out there.
I think the most important thing is we need to make sure that we link the website.
Oh, definitely. We'll have that at the bottom. The link will be in the comments underneath the video. Come visit us. Come see what we're doing. If you like it, keep coming back. We're gonna be keeping content coming in regularly. So please come back to us. And if you like what we do, or you think we can make it better, then please tell us. We want to know.
Yep,
The most
definitely.
important thing is feedback.
We want feedback. Give it to us.
Good or bad.
We'll try not
Or
to cry
evil.
too hard. But this is Geek Ed. Let's all say goodnight.
Alright, from
Good
Peter,
night.
peace out.
Good night from Magnus Top. Enjoy the rest of your day.
I'm Guy. Good night, everybody.